welcome to the NBA Finding Value with DFC. I'm with my buddy Rob here, who just joined the site. And how's it going, man?
It's going pretty well. It's been a tough NBA season, but hopefully we could turn around here.
Yeah, it's been wild. I mean, you got Russell Westbrook, basically 13K. We were just talking about him on DraftKings, and it's always kind of interesting to go. We're at like a pivotal point where, we just go on the slate. Are we paying up? Are we just going to do it, or are we fading?
Yeah, I mean, Westbrook, he's 12-8 on DraftKings, 12-5 in FanDuel. He's just takes up such a high percentage of your salary over there, but he's putting up 70 a game. It's a tough fade. It really is.
It is. It certainly is, and a good matchup here. I mean, obviously that game last time they went out was, spectacular for fantasy on both sides. Vegas tonight, we're looking basically, you and I were talking, Detroit and Chicago, far lower total than anyone else on the board.
Yeah, I like that Phoenix-Minnesota game just because Phoenix, they run the pace always. Washington, Indiana with a total of 212. That's a nice total. And then Atlanta and OKC is 210.5, so that's another good total to target.
Yeah, definitely looking at those ones. I mean, up tempo games. I mean, close spreads. A lot of good guys, kind of value and high price guys to target in those ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at point guards tonight, and no real injuries. I mean, the only one that you can really note would be JJ Barea, questionable. I would say he's probably more on the doubtful side just because he was upgraded, but it would take away a little bit of minutes. But I mean, that Dallas backcourt's gonna be pretty friendly for value.
Yeah, it's pretty much just going to be, I think, D-Will and Seth Curry, and then Wesley Matthews just taking over all the minutes in the backcourt, just like usual.
Yeah, I mean, Deron Williams has played pretty well. I mean, averaging 15 and 6 over the last 6 games. I mean, he's a guy who's going to probably flirt with around 30 FanDuel DK points tonight. I don't mind him for kind of a point guard too.
No, yeah, I like him tonight. Denver's typically pretty nice to point guards. Moutier actually turns the ball over a lot, so that could get him a few steals, which will help him out. These teams played 2 weeks ago or last week, and he put up a solid game. He had 34 on FanDuel, so I would take that again at that price.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in a good spot. I mean, really, still no Dirk. I mean, no real big front court presence. I mean, it's basically just those guards running most of that offense.
Yep.
So, as far as cheaper guys go, I mean, I don't like to usually do this to myself, but Ricky Rubio coming off a couple of nice games, cheap, great matchup. A decent GPP play tonight.
Yeah, he's typically not a player I'll roster just because he does a little of everything, but he doesn't do a lot of one thing. Like it's kind of like Draymond Green, like just a lesser version of him. Like Draymond will average the triple double, Rubio will get like 6, 6, and 6.
Yeah, he's like a tier lower.
Yeah, exactly. Another point guard, I like Schroeder tonight a lot. I love playing point guards against Westbrook. I love it.
Yeah, I do too. And I mean, if you're expecting this game to stay competitive, I think, really Dennis Schroeder and Paul Millsap are going to have the bigger games to keep it close. And Schroeder's never a guy who's really priced up. He kind of just sits in that mid range.
Yeah, it's a nice play. He's been up and down this season. He could absolutely burn you, but he could also put up like a 50 burger on any night. It's crazy with him this year.
Yeah, definitely. And a guy you pointed out, when we were talking before, Eric Bledsoe, only 7,400. Great matchup against, Minnesota, up-tempo game. I mean, a pretty big discount from guys like John Wall and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, and they played a couple weeks ago, and he put up over 50 on the team. So he's got a good chance to do it again, maybe. Rubio doesn't play much defense.
No, he definitely does. I mean, this guy does have 50, plus fantasy point upside. I mean, we've seen it a couple times of late,
Yep.
Lakers, New Orleans, obviously plus matchups, but this is another one.
Yeah, exactly. And then John Wall, he might be too expensive for me tonight. I don't know. He's in a good spot, but with Westbrook and all these other point guards on the board, I don't think I'm going to have enough of him. I'll say that.
He falls into that range where it's like, it's still a good amount from Westbrook, but you do like to pay up for him. I mean, you do have Bledsoe and Schroeder and Williams. I mean, that mid-tier, it just seems like you kind of go one way or the other.
Yeah, it is.
Shooting guard and a couple cheap options on our radar tonight. Gary Harris has been a guy who's been playing pretty well in his first couple games back. I mean, still, pretty much dirt cheap on both sides.
Yeah, he just came back 2 games ago, and he put up over 30 on FanDuel just out of nowhere. Like, no one expected him to come out like this. I like him, and I like Barton too. They both should see around 30 minutes. Barton maybe a little bit less now that Harris is starting to take it from him. But I like them both. I also like Seth Curry, which we touched on earlier. just because no Barea. He's actually been playing about 28 minutes a game now, and he put up over 30 on DraftKings those last 2 games also, which is
Yeah,
surprising.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, he's been bounced back with 2 quality games. I mean, he was banged up for a little bit there. A cheap option, I mean, 3,500 on DK if you do want a punt shooting guard.
Yeah, he'd be a good way to fit Westbrook in now.
Yeah, certainly.
I think Zach LaVine, he's going to be the chalk of all chalk tonight, just because it's up pace against Phoenix. They don't guard guards very well. So
Yeah. I mean, 3 straight games there with 20 plus real points. 8 turnovers in his last game, which hurts you on FanDuel, but obviously DK not so much. But yeah, he's a solid option. And a guy I was looking at, Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, been playing pretty big minutes here of late. I mean, over 30 in the last 4. A guy who's going to get you a couple peripheral stats, but probably around 15, 20 real points. I don't mind him as a cheap option. I mean, I think shooting guard's an interesting spot to go cheap with.
yeah, Hardaway's been he's been shooting a lot lately. I see over his last 4 games, he's been averaging about 14, 15 shots a game, which is a lot for a guy like that. And if his shot's falling, he could definitely just smash that value.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken, 9, 5, 6, 9 3-point attempts over the last 4 games. So, I mean,
His 3-point bonus could be nice on DraftKings.
Yeah, he's certainly firing it up.
And then I like
another guy here. Yeah, Bradley Beal's a guy who. So Washington, I think, is an interesting one to go here because if you're not really looking at Wall, we're kind of going that next tier down where Beal will get to Markieff Morris will get to Gortat as well. But I mean that mid range is kind of where you maybe want to attack this Indy defense.
Yeah, well, Beal, he had that 40-point game yesterday, so that might drive his ownership up a little bit. He's the type of player which I actually like to fade when he has a high ownership because he's just going to take a bunch of shots and he doesn't do a lot of anything else. So say he goes like 1 for 15 that day. Like it's a great fade in concept, but if his shot's falling, you're done. So.
Yeah, I mean his peripheral stats, only averaging about 2 to 3 rebounds or assists per game. As you point out, he basically does have to score, real points. He has to drop 40 to have really any chance at going 45 plus.
Exactly, but I think he's going to have actually fairly high ownership tonight, so I think I'm going to fade him and everything. It's just something I want to do.
Yeah, definitely a good call there. Moving over to small forward, and a guy who I feel is relatively cheap. I like him a lot on FanDuel where he's cheaper, but Andrew Wiggins, good matchup here, just 6,300.
Yeah, we just touched on that same matchup with LaVine. Phoenix plays in an extremely high pace, so it's a really high paced up game for the Timberwolves. And if it's just like Beal, though, if Wiggins' shot is falling, he can easily put up 40.
Yeah, that's the thing. Wiggins is tough to roster sometimes because, as you mentioned, like those peripheral stats are not always there. We don't get the 5, 6, 7 rebounds a game. We can't always bank on that.
Exactly. He's been doing better lately this year with the rebounds, but everything else just nothing.
Yeah, he has been better, but
his
at
price
times
is
he will
nice,
go
though. He's only
missing.
6,300 on FanDuel.
Yeah, so relatively nice price there.
Yep.
Cheaper guys. CJ Miles is a guy people may have been rostering over the last few days. I have had some shares, but it hasn't been good. He's still got a guy who's going to get about 25 minutes with Stuckey and Monta Ellis out, but
yep. Yeah, I'd say we play him when George is out. That's when I mainly target him. But he has a chance to come off the bench and score 20 any given game, though. He's just that kind of player.
Yeah, I'm still not going to rule him out. He's still a GPP guy.
Yeah, definitely. I like Thabo Cephalosha for another GPP play down there. It's a revenge game. He played for Oklahoma a few years ago. So there's always that. And he's actually been getting about 30 minutes a game. So he could produce. At 4,300 and 30 minutes a game, I can't go really wrong there if he has a bad game or something.
No, I don't think so. Not that price. Realistically, I think 20 points is about where his floor is going to be at.
Yeah, 30 minutes. It's kind of hard not to do anything in 30 minutes.
Yeah, so small forward here. We got a couple of guys. A guy you pointed out to me, Dorian Finney-Smith, has been playing, okay here. Obviously, the bad matchup was against Utah. A punt play if you want.
Yeah, he put up 35 on FanDuel in the same matchup last week. You can't expect that again, but it shows his upside at almost a minimum price.
Yeah, definitely. He's a guy I think with a reasonable floor as well, who's going to be getting, probably about 25 to 30 minutes. I think, really 20 to 25 is a pretty good floor for him, and he does have that 30-point upside.
Yeah, it's a big pace-up game for them too. So
yeah, certainly. Yeah. Any other small forwards you're looking at?
No. Jimmy Butler He's just typically consistent. His price is a little high though, so I'm gonna reserve him for GPP only.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think cash, you're better off just going balance and kind of
Yeah,
using that
exactly.
money to go elsewhere. So, power forward, and I mean, some of these guys on DraftKings are also small forward eligible, but guy who I'm taking a look at, I mean, really both in that same game, Thaddeus Young, Markieff Morris, both super cheap, both have some upside, yet they also have horrible floor.
Yeah, Morris could. He can get ejected 2 minutes into the game. You just never know with him. Thad Young, he's got a low floor, but he was with the Nets last year, so I watched a lot of him, and he has the chance to put up 40 any given night. It's just a matter if the effort's there.
That's that's the most frustrating part of
If
it. I
he's
mean,
grabbing boards, he can do it, but if he's not, it's just nothing.
yeah, because he's not a high usage player here on the Pacers, and you do have to rely on those steals. You do have to rely on the rebounds because he's not going to go out there and put up 25 real points.
Yep.
I like him. Tobias Harris, 5,500, not a bad guy to use tonight.
Yeah, I actually like him a lot if John Lure's out.
Yeah, I mean he's questionable. I mean I think Taj Gibson's questionable, but projected to play, so I'm
Yeah,
not really going to
he should
dive
play.
too much into him. I mean that Chicago front court's just been a mess.
Yeah.
I mean in terms of backup guys, I mean Mirotic just kind of lost his way.
Bobby Portis isn't even getting in there anymore. It's a mess. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Gorjai Dang, 5,700. Minnesota, it just seems like pick your spot with them. I mean, I feel like you can kind of go numerous ways and kind of building with lineup construction.
Yeah, I think he's one of my favorites in that team tonight, just because Towns' price is very high. We'll touch on him later, but he's a solid mid-range player. He's 5,500 on FanDuel, which is a good price for him in a game where he could easily get 10 to 15 rebounds, that's his upside. And it's an up-paced game, so Phoenix shoots a lot. They miss a lot. The boards are going to be needed to get by someone. Him and Talon should get them all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like those guys quite a bit. I mean, in that same game, I don't mind probably more of a DraftKings play for me, but Marquise Chris at 3,900, a guy who I think you can get about 20 to 25 DK points from tonight at a pretty cheap price. Just kind of more keeping it in the lines of if you're rostering Russell Westbrook, you're going to probably need a couple of guys like that.
Yeah, Westbrook's price is so high, you're going to need some 3K player or 4K player to fit him in. So Chris isn't a bad option to have there.
No, definitely not. But power forward, I mean, I like Paul Millsap. I think out of kind of the top options there. I mean, I don't mind going up to him. Not a bad price tag on both sides.
Yeah, he's a great cash game play just because he's so consistent. He doesn't show a lot of upside, but he has a little bit there. But he's just consistently going to get you at least 30 points a game, 30 fantasy points a game at least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this guy who does, basically his defensive stats are always very, very solid. I mean, on minimum, you can at least bank on, 2 blocks or steals in terms of being combined there.
Yep. And then we have the Denver front court with Jokic and Fareed. Which is your favorite, Jason?
I got to go Jokic.
Jokic,
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas, they're actually the worst rebounding team in the NBA. They have the lowest rebound rate, so I like them both, but the minutes are just so hard to predict. Jokic, he should be the cash game option. I think a lot of people are going to play him in cash tonight, but a good pivot would be Fareed. Definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at a cheaper price, it's always worth a look. I mean, I think on FanDuel, I mean, he's power forward. Jokic is center on DraftKings only. So I mean, you could roster both if you want to and get wild.
That'd be if they could both get 30 minutes in the game tonight. Say Nurkic gets in foul trouble or something. Jokic and Fareed come in, they just get every single rebound possible.
If they both got 30 minutes, I would be convinced that the world was ending.
I know. Need a couple of ejections for that to happen.
Yeah. Looking at center tonight, I mean, we'll talk about Towns here first. I mean, he's a guy expensive. I mean, he has shown off that upside here of late. He's a reasonable play. I think for the most part, though, I'm going to be trying to go a little bit balanced.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same. I just don't think I'll be able to fit him with Westbrook. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think centers that there's a good spot to kind of go cheap at. I mean, I like Miles Turner, I like Gortat, I don't even mind Tyson Chandler. So I mean, I think it's a spot where I don't mind paying down tonight.
Yeah, I like Gortat a lot. Indiana is another really bad rebounding team, and he's a very consistent player. Not the best defender this year, so that puts Turner in play. But
Yeah,
both centers in that game are in a good spot.
yeah, it definitely does. And I mean, I know Dwight Howard didn't have a good game out last against OKC, but he's in reasonable GPP play as well.
Yeah, he's a little too cheap on DraftKings. I saw too.
Yeah, just 7,300. So I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
mind
still low
him.
for him, I think.
I know a guy you were talking about here as well is Andre Drummond. I mean, obviously you look at this game. I mean, we haven't talked about too many plays, but definitely gets a decent matchup.
Yeah, they played a couple weeks ago, and he only played 24 minutes. I think it was because he was in foul trouble, but he had 15 and 10 in those 24 minutes. So, say he gets a normal allotment of minutes. Do you think a 2020 game is out of the picture? I mean,
No,
it's
I don't
always
think so.
possible with him.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. A couple times here where he's gone off for some big rebounding games.
Yeah, he hasn't
Um,
been scoring much, but the rebounds have been there.
yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, real points. I mean, 9, 13, 3, but I mean, double digit rebounds in his last 10 games. So,
Yeah, exactly. And then a value guy, GPP only, but Salah Mejri against Denver. Dallas, they're going to need some big body to match up against Nurkic, Jokic, and Fareed. And Mejri is really the only healthy big body they have because Dwight Powell is a little undersized to contain them. And he's
yeah, I
just going
mean,
to
that's
have
a
to
good
play.
point.
He doesn't produce much. Like, he has a really low usage, but he's been getting blocks last few games. 4 blocks, 3 blocks, 3 blocks. So he's got a chance to hit his value.
Yeah, and he's only 3,100 on
Yeah, so
DK.
what do you need? Like 20?
2025. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's another guy where, if you're going with and the good thing is, I mean, you can still roster another center.
Yeah, he's DraftKings only for me. I couldn't use him on FanDuel, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either. As far as tonight goes, I mean, who's your highest non-Westbrook score?
Oh, my highest not. I'm gonna go with Drummond.
Ooh, bold call.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like him a lot tonight. I don't know. I've watched a lot of Bulls games, and they just don't do a good job on the glass. I know the rebounding rate looks good, but the eye test, they just don't pass it for me.
Yeah, they really haven't looked that great. I mean, especially of late.
Exactly.
So,
Who's yours?
I'm gonna go with Paul George. I think we see a vintage Paul George night.
Yeah, watch. They can't cover wings. We actually didn't really touch on him that much. We were on the position, but yeah, they historically just can't cover anyone on the wings.
No, I mean, I prefer George over Butler tonight.
Yeah, I think I would too. He has more of an upside. Butler's just his minutes are always there. He's going to play 38 minutes a night. He'll have a solid game. He's just too expensive for me.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to wrap it up for today. If you want to check out our NBA content, you can head on over to dailyfantasycafe.com. Our cheat sheets will be up in the later. Be sure to check out the rest of our tools and content.
Yeah, good luck to everyone tonight. If neither of us win a GPP, we hope one of you do it.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good luck.